But anyways, family, now for our feature story of the day. Peter Schiff, the notorious Bitcoin critic, aka Bitcoin troll, says there is a scenario he believes where Bitcoin can hit $10 million per Bitcoin. So let me break this down for you, family. Here's the headlines. Peter Schiff says Bitcoin could hit 10 million if this happens. It was also here. Could Bitcoin ever skyrocket to 10 million? Possible, but there is a condition, and I'm going to share with you the thread from Peter Schiff himself, but I think we're going to start right here. Economist and longtime Bitcoin critic Peter Schiff has felt vindicated over the past week as his warning that the Bitcoin price would fall victim to selling the news event after the recent launch of the first Bitcoin ETFs on the US market has come to fruition, with Bitcoin seeing a pullback of 21% at its lowest point. But guess what? We've recovered and already bounced back pretty strong from that level, currently above 42. But anyways, the Bitcoin experts who ridiculed me and anyone else who claimed the new Bitcoin ETFs would be a buy the rumor, sell the news event are now dismissing the significance of the decline, claiming it's just a classic buy the rumor, sell the news event that was to be expected, which is what he tweeted. So let's actually go to this tweet. No matter how low the price of Bitcoin falls, Peter Schiff says, its proponents will always be able to claim it outperformed gold. Duh, because it has. For example, even if Bitcoin falls to $100 in 2031 and gold rises to 10,000, they will claim that Bitcoin is up 100x in the past 20 years, while gold is only up 5x. Sorry, Peter, but it is what it is. What if Bitcoin goes to 10 million by 2031? Someone asked him. And here's where Peter chimed in. If the US dollar goes the way of the German, is that the paper mark? Then I suppose that is possible. So he's ultimately saying if there is a US dollar crash, he can see that becoming a possibility. So despite the launch of the ETFs and potential inflows that could follow, Schiff maintains his position that Bitcoin will ultimately go to zero. Here's my prediction, and I've heard sailors say the same thing. Bitcoin is more likely to go to $1 million per coin than go to zero. And I'll double up on that. Bitcoin is more likely to go to $100 million per coin. Now, that's actually 100x, not a double up. But I believe Bitcoin is more likely to go to $100 million per coin, as Saylor has predicted himself, then go to zero. What do you guys think? So quoting him again, the new Bitcoin ETFs aren't creating additional demand, but merely shifting the demand, he said. Investors who might have bought the actual Bitcoin-related equities like MSTR, MicroStrategy, or GBTC are simply buying the new ETFs instead. Rearranging the deck chairs won't stop the ship from sinking. Here is how Bitcoin works. We create something with no value, then artificially limit its supply. Then we all pretend it has value and buy it. Other people see the price going up and they buy it too. Then we all hodl and hoping everyone keeps pretending it has value. No matter how low the price goes, again, this is the quote, of Bitcoin falling, its proponents will always be able to claim it outperformed gold. For example, if Bitcoin falls to $100 in 2031 and gold rises to 10,000, they'll claim Bitcoin's up 100x in the past 20 years while gold is only up 5x. Now, as I mentioned, that user did respond, in which Peter Schiff gave us a scenario. So regarding that German paper mark national currency, Schiff was referring to the hyperinflation which occurred in Germany between 1921 and 1923. And the German paper mark national currency plunged at the unprecedented rate, at one point reaching an exchange rate of, man, is that 4 billion? 4,200 million to 1 with the US dollar. And while Schiff might have been responding in jest, hyperinflation does indeed remain a risk, as the US debt, along with the debt of many nations around the world, is starting to increase exponentially. Data provided by UseTheClock.org shows the U.S. national debt currently stands at $34 trillion. Good Lord. An increase of more than $1 trillion since the end of Q3 of last year. And in January alone, the debt expanded from $33 trillion to $34.1 trillion, an increase of $122 billion in 26 days. This is crazy. Now check out this chart. Has anyone else noticed from the Q4 GDP report, annualized interest on the federal debt now exceeds $1 trillion and is projected to breach $3 trillion. Annualized rate by Q4 of 2030. Insane and unsustainable. Look, this is the actual projection of where the debt is going. It's unprecedented. It means the dollar can't maintain its current level. I mean, that's why you have BRICS movements right now, which are doubling because they're anticipating the de-dollarization, because they can't print to infinity. It has real world consequences and effects, and it's a way to tax the poor unfortunately. So the federal deficit currently stands at negative 6.4% of the GDP, meaning government expenditures significantly outweigh the revenues. This means the government will need to borrow more funds to make up the difference, further increasing the total debt. The matter has become so dire that it is one of the few things in the current political climate that has bipartisan appeal for Congress. I mean, pretty insane. I truly believe the debt can't be stopped at this point. Clearly, it can't be paid off. And that $33 trillion debt can eventually become a $100 trillion debt. And quoting the high priest, the cold fact is that Bitcoin is not distributed, it is earned. I love that. That's actually a great quote. So shout out to the high priest. But what are your thoughts on this tweet from Peter Schiff and sharing the scenario of how Bitcoin can potentially hit that much money? Do let me know, family.